Greetings, fellow tarot travelers. Tripping through the tetrahedral triptych of cards, I shall now lay before you. I'm Tarot Torch, and at this moment, in time and in space, we will do what's called an open reading. I have no topic to limit our discourse. This will be a shorter video, but a much more important and direct video. And I will be using the Tarot de Marseille of Jean Dodal from Lyon, France, 1701. Very interesting that this is from Lyon, France, because Lyon is a center of major rioting right now with the Yellow Vests. And this is a very wonderful deck put out by Jean-Claude Flournoy, and I highly recommend it to anyone studying Marseille Tarot. So, with this deck in hand, we'll now shuffle and see what is it that the universe wishes to channel through at this moment of time and space between Tarot Torch and the viewing community. And the first card is the Sun. You know, the Sun card is a very interesting card. Everybody thinks that the Sun card is about exuberance and fun, and to a certain degree it is. It represents approval, happiness, a day at the beach. But there's a deeper meaning to the Sun card that's often not talked about, and it's the esoteric meaning of the card. There's a wall, if you look carefully, behind the two children. And that wall is there because it divides the children from their past life. You see, this is a card about incarnating on Earth and having a wall to your past incarnations such that you can live this life in joyful ignorance as a child, not connecting to the past life, so that you may freely process your karma accordingly. The children each have a line, or at least this child has a line down the middle of its torso, representing the body as like a vestment that's just tossed off between incarnations. Normally, it is on both children, the line, in many tarot decks, but it represents as well reincarnation. So the power of the Sun is the power of the day and the dawning of a new life, but that doesn't mean there weren't lives before. The second card is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups represents, well, in modern tarology, it represents social links. But the actual true interpretation from a more ancient view is that the Five of Cups is the arrangement of a marriage. And so it is where two parties come together and make an agreement to marry the daughter or marry the son off. And that's where it all began. So here we have joyfulness and parties coming together to determine a new life. The next card is the King of Coins. Now, what does this mean? What is the universe telling us at this moment where there is no topic at hand? It is my estimation that the sunlight, representing a newness of life and a regeneration, is bringing forth the power of regeneration through an arrangement to develop a new genetic modeling of future generations, that we're looking at literally terraforming of a new world or developing populations for another planet. You see that coin in the hand of the King of Coins? That can be that we'll be traveling in outer space looking for another planet that we can inhabit. And it may be outside of our solar system. These cards could easily be interpreted as genetic developments of evolution in humanity, where literally a new race evolves that will eventually be supplanted on another planet. That may be far-fetched for some. Some people would rather see it as a day at the beach with their fiancé, and they're going to get rich at the job that they've just now applied for. I understand. And there are many levels in tarot interpretation, which is why generally we ask questions. And in this type of a reading, an open reading, we're going to let the universe choose what this all means. Now, in limiting the discourse, we see that the king is looking away from the center card. And that means that the future is disengaged from the present. And we see that the children are looking at each other, but the son is looking forward. So we have three cards that don't integrate with each other. In my estimation, I would say that while people are getting married and having fun and good times, the economy is somehow slipping away to foreign interests. That easily could be what the King of Coins means as he looks in another direction. Maybe Russia, maybe China, but it could be another country like Germany that we don't even suspect as being the culprit in this case. But somehow the King of Coins, which represents our material and abundance, he's looking away from the current dilemma into another future that is not shared by people in the present. And so my estimation here is that we have corporate greed, political greed, and someone's taken the loot and is looking for an escape route to get away. I think with this kind of a configuration, we should also consider the idea that a young couple that seeks to get married and have children at this time may be surprised at what the prospects in the future for the cost of housing, transportation, and versus salary is going to bring. It looks like we're going to go through some economic upheaval. I know the stock market is high and everybody's talking about prosperity, but we've overfished the seas. We've completely decimated all the forests. There is a little bit of climate change happening, folks. So the prospects for economic prosperity in a planet that is doubling its population every 10 years with limited resources may mean it's harder to make a living and raise a family in the future. We just don't have enough for everyone to go around. China wants everyone to have a car, a house, a computer, a stove, and a refrigerator. There's a lot of people in China. India wants the same. And so we may see the economic prospects diminishing over time. That may be why the king is looking away. Ultimately, I would say that this is a configuration where people are being very deluded into enjoying their happiness in the sun, and people are being deluded into thinking that marriage and children is the power that we should grab, the golden ring on the carousel, the goal that we should fixate towards. And they're not considering overpopulation, scarce world resources, depletion of resources, climate change, and other considerations. And eventually all of this will come crashing into the economy, changing the fates and future of all these people that were not integrating and paying attention to the king, and the king certainly is not paying attention to them. And that is why we may end up with a new species of human and a new genetic lineage that takes off in a space ark and goes to a distant planet, the planet the King of Coins is holding in his hands, in a distant star system, in order to regenerate life, because we've depleted too much of it here on Earth.